Of all the revolutions in modern physics, the one that reaches deepest into ordinary life is Einstein's revolution in time. Because time is the water we swim in, and tampering with it tampers with everything we mean by before, after, now, and forever. Today, I want to show you what relativity actually established, and then set it beside Jewish sources that could not have known the physics and yet had already staked out with some precision the positions the physics would require. Start with what Einstein overthrew. Newton declared in the opening of the Principia that absolute time flows equably without relation to anything external. One master clock for the cosmos, one universal now ticking everywhere at once. It is every person's common sense. It is false. In 1905, Einstein showed that if the speed of light is the same for all observers, and every experiment says it is, then simultaneity is relative. Two events that are simultaneous for you are not simultaneous for someone moving past you, and neither of you is wrong. There is no universal now. Moving clocks run slow. Clocks deep in gravity run slow, and these are not appearances, they are engineering facts. Muons created in the upper atmosphere, which should decay in microseconds, reach the ground because their internal time genuinely dilates at near light speed. The clocks aboard GPS satellites gain around 38 microseconds a day relative to yours, and the system corrects for it. Fail to correct, and your navigation drifts by kilometers. In 1971, atomic clocks flown around the world on airliners came home disagreeing with the clocks that left by the predicted amount. Time is not Newton's river. It is a dimension woven with space into one fabric that bends around mass and stretches with speed. And that had, as we saw in previous episodes in this series, a beginning. You may also hear the first Jewish echo. Bereshit Rabbah 3:7 and the Rambam taught that time is a created thing, that asking what came before creation is a malformed question. Newton contradicted them for 2 centuries. Einstein handed the point back. But today I want two deeper convergences, one about God and one about you. So, first, about God. Take relativity seriously, and a striking consequence follows. If there is no universal now, if every observer slices space-time at a different angle, then the totality of events, past, present, and future, must in some sense be there to be sliced. Physicists call this the block universe. All of history laid out as a single four-dimensional whole, in which now is a local perspective, like here. Einstein took this seriously in his own life. Weeks before his death, when his lifelong friend Michel Besso died, he wrote to the family that for physicists who believe the distinction between past, present, and future, as I quote, is only a stubbornly persistent illusion. Now open the sources. Psalms 90. 1,000 years in your sight are like yesterday when it had passed. Exodus 3. Moses asks for the divine name and receives Ehyeh Asher Ehyeh, a name built on the verb to be, unconfined by tense, and the tradition observes that the four-letter name itself folds together, Hayah Hoveh V'Yihya, was, is, and will be, into one word. For 2,000 years, a skeptic could ask what it could even mean for a being to hold all times at once. It sounded like grammar under strain. Physics itself now supplies the picture that makes the tradition's claim coherent, a vantage from which the whole of time is present. The philosopher Boethius defined eternity as the whole and perfect possession of unbounded life all at once. Einstein, without intending to, built the geometry for that sentence. Second, convergence. What a human being should do about time. A landscape view of the fourth dimension raises an obvious worry. If all moments simply are, is anything really happening? Is the future written? Careful thinkers agree the block geometry does not settle that question, and the quantum openness we met 2 episodes ago leans the other way. But notice what Judaism actually does with time, because it avoids both classic errors. It does not worship the cycle, drowning in recurring seasons as the pagan calendars did, and it does not dismiss time as illusion, as some Eastern systems and some readings of the block do. It builds in time. The first thing the Torah calls holy is not a mountain, not a temple, not a person, it is a day. Genesis 2:3, and God blessed the seventh day and sanctified it. Rabbi Abraham Joshua Heschel built his best-known book on that observation. Judaism, he wrote, is a religion of time aiming at the sanctification of time. The Sabbath is a palace in time, a cathedral no army can burn because it is not located anywhere. Rome could destroy the temple, it could not touch Friday night. And the architecture is layered. The week is the one rhythm in human life with no astronomical source. The day tracks the sun, the month tracks the moon, the year tracks the seasons. The 7-day week tracks nothing in the sky. It is a purely covenantal rhythm, and today the entire human race keeps it, mostly without asking why. Above the week, the festivals, the seventh year, Shemitah, the 50th, the Jubilee, nested periodicities, a deliberate structure erected in the dimension Einstein showed to be as real as space. A civilization that thought time mere flux would never build there. A civilization that thought time unreal would never bother. Only a people convinced that time is created fabric, real, structured, receptive to holiness, would think to raise architecture in it. One more piece of physics belongs here, the arrow. The microscopic laws run equally well forward and backward. A film of two particles colliding looks lawful reversed. What gives time its direction is the second law of thermodynamics. Disorder increases. And it increases only because the universe began in a state of almost inconceivable order. That initial precision Roger Penrose quantified. Every later in your life is downstream of an extraordinarily ordered first morning. And here is a historical fact worth knowing. It was Israel that taught mankind linear time. The pagan world, watching seasons wheel, concluded that history is a circle going nowhere. The Torah's structure, a creation, a covenant, a direction, a destination, gave the West the very idea of history as a road. Our liturgy counts the days of the Omer, the years towards Jubilee, a counted thing is going somewhere. Physics now agrees about the shape. Time is an arrow, loosed once from an ordered beginning. The Torah's claim was always about who loosed it and towards what. So this Friday, when the sun goes down, notice what you are stepping into. A structure in the fourth dimension, older than every building on your street, arriving precisely on schedule for the approximately 3,000th consecutive year. Next episode, we take on the subject people assume is the hardest of all, Darwin, and meet the chief rabbi who read evolution and saw Kabbalah.